Hello everyone, my name is Burt and I will be presenting alongside Jessica Consiglio and Erin LeClair. This presentation will cover the first records of Japanese stiltgrass in Canada and its preliminary management. If you have any questions, please type them in the box on your right and we will answer them after the presentation. We will cover the general biology, threats, physical description, accurate identification, and preliminary management of Japanese stiltgrass. We will also highlight the outreach and communication efforts made by the Canadian Food Inspection Agency. Now I will hand the presentation over to Jessica so she can give you an overview of the invasive grasses' general biology.
Japanese stiltgrass, also known as Nepalese browntop and packing grass, is a sprawling annual grass which grows up to 1 meter tall and roots from the nodes to form extensive, dense mats. In Canada, Japanese stiltgrass is regulated as a pest under the Plant Protection Act. This grass is native to China, India, Japan, Korea, Taiwan, and Malaysia, but has also been introduced to other parts of Asia, as well as Europe, Central America, and North America. The species is thought to have been initially introduced to North America through its use as packing material for porcelain shipments in the early 1900s and has since continued to spread. Japanese stiltgrass is capable of invading a variety of habitats, including floodplains, moist woodlands, forests, and swamps, as well as disturbed areas such as roadsides, trail edges, fields, and lawns. Although this grass can be slow to establish in undisturbed areas, it may rapidly colonize disturbed sites. Additionally, this species is especially successful at colonizing shaded areas, making it an aggressive invader of woodlands and forests, particularly at sites where the canopy has already been opened due to previous disturbance. Several modes of seed dispersal have been documented in this grass, including dispersal by water and dispersal in the fur of wild animals. Anthropogenic dispersal on vehicles, clothing, and hiking gear has also been recorded. Japanese stiltgrass may also reproduce vegetatively, readily rooting from stem nodes of broken off plant materials and growing from there. This species may pose significant ecological threats to ecosystems in Ontario due to a variety of factors. For instance, Japanese stiltgrass has been found to alter the structure of native vegetation communities due to its rapid growth rate and ability to shade out native species. Specifically, this grass has been found to negatively impact the regeneration of native woody plants in forested areas, as the dense monocultures produced by the species' growth habit are highly resistant to recolonization by native tree species. The ability of Japanese stiltgrass to outcompete native species also negatively impacts species richness in infested natural areas. This grass also influences soil properties in infested areas. In fact, invasions may also impact an area's soil chemistry by causing a rise in pH and available phosphorus. Furthermore, Japanese stiltgrass invasions have also been found to significantly alter soil microbial communities.
Okay, moving on to species description. Japanese stiltgrass is a sprawling annual, and as Jessica mentioned, it's capable of rooting at its nodes. If you do any research on this species, you may come across a paper by Erin that describes several populations of a perennial form with rhizomes. However, this is an error derived from a misidentification of the native white cutgrass, or Learsia virginica. Japanese stiltgrass roots form dense colonies, and it can grow to about 1 meter in height. It has broad, lance-shaped leaves with a distinct line of silver hairs along the midvein. The inflorescence, or the flower head, is a panicle, and spikelets occur in pairs, which are circled red in figure B here. And the spikelets have been reported as on or onless in various populations, but all the populations observed in Ontario sported long, twisted awns, which are indicated by the red arrows in Figure B on the right. Japanese stiltgrass is similar to several native grass species in Ontario, including white-cut grass or Leerzia virginica, and short-husk species or Brachyletrum species. The easiest way to differentiate Japanese stiltgrass from both of these species is the distinct line of silver hairs along the midvein of the leaves. White cutgrass and short husks lack this line of silver hairs. Additionally, white cutgrass has distinct tufts of white hairs at the nodes and has distinct rhizome that resemble braided rope, whereas Japanese stiltgrass lacks the tufts of hairs at its nodes and it also lacks rhizomes. Short husk species have larger spikelets which are greater than 8 millimeters in length, whereas Japanese stiltgrass has smaller spikelets between 3.5 to 6.5 millimeters in length. Japanese stiltgrass is currently known from 2 locations in Canada, both found in southern Ontario, which are depicted as the white stars in the figure on the right. It was first discovered by Jessica Consiglio and I during late summer in 2019 in Short Hills Provincial Park, Niagara region. The closest known record of Japanese stiltgrass outside of Canada is located in Niagara County, New York, which is approximately 20 kilometers from the new Canadian population we report here. I discovered a second population alongside a group of local botanists in early fall of 2020 at Tanager Tract near West Lorne, Elgin County. The population found at Short Hills Provincial Park was large and created dense mats which dominated several hectares of the park. It was found in a variety of habitats including old field meadows, black walnut dominated woodlands, and deciduous forests. The population found in Tanager Tract was much smaller. It included 2 small patches that covered a combined area of less than 100 meters squared. These patches were both found in deciduous forests approximately 20 to 40 meters from the edge of the agricultural field. It should be noted that the edge of the agricultural field was scanned and no Japanese stiltgrass was found. Moving on to management, Japanese stiltgrass is regulated under the Federal Plant Protection Act as a pest plant. Management has been a collaborative effort and has connected local botanists such as myself and Jessica with staff from the Canadian Food Inspection Agency and Ontario Parks. The management objective is to contain and eradicate Japanese stiltgrass populations in Canada. This objective will be completed by surveying areas adjacent to the known infestations and elsewhere in Ontario, site-specific management and subsequent monitoring of the treated areas, and education and outreach. At Short Hills Provincial Park, detection surveys were conducted to determine the extent of Japanese stiltgrass in the Niagara region, with an emphasis on high-risk areas around the known population. Surveys were conducted during late spring to early summer to help inform treatment efforts. Surveys focused on areas where seeds may have been dispersed from the known infestation and included pastures and fields where contaminated soil or hay may be moved, trails, recreational and naturalized tourist areas and parks, shaded roadside ditches, and forests, woodlands, and disturbed areas, particularly those with known deer populations. Treatment for the Short Hills population in the Niagara region included herbicide application. Herbicide treatment was conducted by Ontario Park staff on foot using backpack sprayers. Glyphosate was used due to its efficacy and ease of use by applicators. Backpack units were chosen in order to navigate through terrain including fallen trees and other natural obstacles, and to minimize the spray of non-target plant species. Areas were either spot sprayed or fan sprayed, depending on the size of the patch. Treatment locations included small satellite populations, sites adjacent to trails, high-use areas, and populations along margins of agricultural land. Treatment of the large interior infestations will take place in the future and are dependent on resources. Additionally, a notice of prohibition of movement was issued to the Short Hills Provincial Park on November 7, 2019. This notice restricts the movement of soil and plant material from within the park. Treatment of the tanager track population in Elgin County was simple, and it included mechanical removal via hand pulling. All individuals within the population were removed. Monitoring of the treatment areas is ongoing and takes place at both known populations. Monitoring will be conducted during treatment and will be completed for 5 years after treatment. Preliminary monitoring from the Short Hills population in Niagara region have showed that herbicide treatment of glyphosate has been effective in the areas that were sprayed. Now I will pass the presentation back to Jessica so she can outline communication and outreach efforts by the Canadian Food Inspection Agency.
The Canadian Food Inspection Agency has created various outreach materials such as fact sheets and information cards. These materials are distributed by Ontario Parks nature education staff to park users as well as local interest groups, as well as being posted at park entrances. The Japanese Stiltgrass fact sheet is also available for download on the CFIA website. Also, please contact your local CFIA office if you find Japanese stiltgrass. The following outreach tools are also being utilized by the CFIA and partners to increase awareness of Japanese stiltgrass, including fact sheets, pest cards, and informative signage posted at known locations. Additionally, a Japanese stiltgrass survey protocol and risk management document are also available from the CFIA. Through combined efforts of local botanists and provincial and federal government agencies, a new threat to Canada's biodiversity has been detected and preliminary management actions have been initiated. With continued collaboration, we believe that Japanese stiltgrass can be contained and eradicated in Canada. Thank you. Any questions?